Chapter 1. I thought the worst day of my life was 3 years ago when the man I loved disappeared without a trace. I was wrong. The worst day was today, when he walked back into my life with armed men, looked at my son, and said 2 words that made my blood run cold. He's mine. The coffee in the nurse's break room tasted like burnt rubber, but I drank it anyway. That's what 12-hour shifts at Seattle General Hospital did to you. Made you desperate enough to drink anything with caffeine in it. My phone buzzed. I ignored it. Probably another spam call about my car's extended warranty. It buzzed again. Then again. I glanced at the screen. Little Stars Preschool. My heart did a weird jump. They never called unless something was wrong. "This is Maya," I answered, already walking toward the exit. "Ms. Rivera?" The director's voice was shaking. Mrs. Chen never shook. "You need to come to the school right now. There's been an incident." My legs almost gave out. "Is Noah okay? What happened?" "He's safe. He's in my office eating crackers." "But Ms. Rivera, a man tried to take him from the playground during outdoor time. Our security stopped him, but..." I didn't hear the rest. I was already running through the hospital parking lot, my scrub still on, my heart trying to punch through my ribcage. The 15-minute drive took 8. I ran 3 red lights. I didn't care. When I burst through the preschool doors, Mrs. Chun was waiting in the lobby. Her face was pale, and she was gripping her clipboard like it was a life raft. "Where is he?" I demanded. "In my office. He's fine, I promise. But Maya, we need to talk." "Talk later. Noah first." I pushed past her and ran down the hall to the director's office. Noah was sitting on the small couch, his Spider-Man backpack next to him, chocolate crackers in his tiny hands. When he saw me, his face lit up. "Mama." I dropped to my knees and grabbed him, holding him so tight he squeaked. He smelled like sunshine and baby shampoo and everything good in this world. My hands shook as I checked him over. No bruises, no cuts, nothing. "Baby, are you okay? Did anyone hurt you?" "No, Mama." The teacher grabbed me real fast and we ran inside. It was like a game. He grinned, showing his missing front tooth. A game. He thought it was a game. My 3-year-old almost got kidnapped, and he thought it was a game. I felt sick. "Ms. Rivera." Mrs. Chen stood in the doorway, still clutching that clipboard. "We need to discuss what happened." I stood up slowly, keeping Noah close. "Who was he? Did you call the police?" "We called the police. They're reviewing our security footage now." She hesitated, then sat down at her desk. "But before that, Noah kept crying for his father during the incident. We didn't know he had a father listed on his records." My stomach dropped. "He doesn't. I left that section blank." "Actually, you didn't." Mrs. Chen turned her computer screen toward me. "A year ago, you updated Noah's registration forms online. You listed a father's name. Kang Min-jun. You even put a phone number." The room started spinning. No. I remembered that night. I'd been drinking wine. Too much wine. After Noah asked why he didn't have a daddy like the other kids at preschool. I'd been crying and drunk and stupid, and I'd logged into the preschool portal and filled in the one thing I knew about Noah's father. His name, Kang Min-jun, and the phone number he'd given me 3 years ago in Vancouver. I never thought they'd actually use it. You called him?" My voice came out as a whisper. Mrs. Chen nodded slowly. "After we stopped the kidnapping attempt, we followed protocol. We called all emergency contacts. Your number, your sister in Texas, and him. The number you listed actually worked." He answered. "What did he say?" "He asked if Noah was safe. When I said yes, he said he was coming. He sounded upset." "Maya, he didn't know about Noah, did he?" My throat closed up. I couldn't breathe. 3 years. 3 years of raising Noah alone. 3 years of night shifts and daycare costs, and wondering if I'd made the right choice not trying harder to find his father. 3 years of telling myself that Kang Min-jun was probably married with a family and didn't need a random American girl from Texas showing up with a baby. And now he was coming. "When?" I managed to ask. "When is he coming?" Mrs. Chun checked her watch. Her hand was shaking. "He said he was at SeaTac Airport when I called. That was 20 minutes ago. So probably now." As if on cue, the sound of car doors slamming echoed from the parking lot. Heavy footsteps. Multiple sets of them. Mrs. Chen stood up fast, her chair scraping the floor. "Ms. Rivera, I need to tell you something else." When he arrived, he brought security. Several men. They're all wearing suits and they look very serious. My blood turned to ice. I grabbed Noah and headed for the back door. Maya, wait. I didn't wait. I ran through the hallway with Noah bouncing against my hip, heading for the back exit that led to the staff parking lot. My car was in the front lot, but I didn't care. I'd run to the main road if I had to. I'd hitchhike. I'd do anything to get Noah away from. The back door swung open before I reached it. A man in a black suit stepped inside. He was tall, Asian, built like a wall. He had an earpiece in and his hand was inside his jacket, where a gun probably was. I stopped running. My arms tightened around Noah. Ms. Rivera. His voice was flat. Mr. Kang would like to speak with you. Front entrance. I'm not. It wasn't a request. He didn't move. Just stood there, blocking the only exit. Behind me, I heard more footsteps. I turned. Another man in a suit, same build, same earpiece. I was trapped. Mama? Noah's voice was small. Why are we running? I swallowed hard. It's okay, baby. We're going to meet someone. We walked back through the hallway. Past Mrs. Chun, who looked like she wanted to disappear. Past the empty classrooms where kids had been rushed into lockdown. Out the front doors into the parking lot where 3 black SUVs were parked sideways, blocking everything. And standing between them, hands in his pockets, looking exactly like he did 3 years ago except somehow more dangerous, was Kang Min-jun. He wore a black suit that probably cost more than my car. His dark hair was pushed back from his face. His jaw was sharp enough to cut glass. And his eyes, those same eyes that had looked at me like I was the only person in the world that night in Vancouver, were now cold and hard as he stared at me. Then his gaze dropped to Noah. I watched his face change. The coldness cracked. His eyes went wide. His mouth opened slightly. Noah looked exactly like him. Same dark hair. Same sharp jawline. Same serious expression when he was thinking hard about something. There was no denying it. For 10 long seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then Kang Min-jun's eyes came back to me. And when he spoke, his voice was quiet. Deadly quiet. Explain. Now. Chapter 2. My mouth went dry. All the words I'd practiced for 3 years. All the explanations, all the excuses, died in my throat. I started, then stopped. Min-jun took a step forward. His men moved with him like shadows. You have 5 seconds to tell me why I'm just now finding out I have a son. The anger in his voice made Noah flinch against my shoulder. That snapped me out of my freeze. Don't you dare talk to me like that in front of him, I said, my Texas accent coming out stronger when I was mad. You want answers? Fine. But not here. Not with guns and scary men and my baby watching. Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, maybe. Like he'd expected me to cower. He'd never met a Texas girl before, apparently. Min-jun said something sharp in Korean. His men stepped back but didn't leave. He looked at Noah, and his expression softened just a fraction. The boy can sit in my car. It's safe. We talk. 5 minutes. 10, I countered. And I hold him the whole time. His jaw tightened, but he nodded. We walked to the middle SUV. The back door was already open. The inside looked like something from a movie. Leather seats, tinted windows so dark you couldn't see inside. And was that a mini fridge? I slid in with Noah on my lap. Min-jun got in beside me and closed the door. Suddenly the space felt tiny. He smelled like expensive cologne and something else. Something I remembered from 3 years ago. Mama, who is this? Noah whispered, staring at Min-jun with wide eyes. My heart cracked. This is someone Mama knew a long time ago. Why does he look like me? Kids. They noticed everything. Min-jun's face did something complicated. He opened his mouth, closed it, then looked at me like he was drowning and I was supposed to save him. Because. I took a shaky breath. Because he's your daddy, baby. Noah's eyes went huge. Really? Before I could answer, Min-jun's phone rang. He answered in Korean, his voice sharp and fast. I didn't understand the words, but I understood the tone. Something was wrong. He hung up and looked at me. Really looked at me. That night in Vancouver. You told me your name was Maya Ross. It's Maya Rivera. Ross is my middle name. I was scared, okay? You were this intense, mysterious guy who wouldn't tell me what he did for work. I wasn't about to give you my real last name. Smart, he said quietly. I looked for you. For 2 months, I searched every Maya Ross in Vancouver. Then I had to stop because... He paused. Because people were watching me, asking questions about the American woman. My heart stuttered. You looked for me? Yes. His eyes were dark, unreadable. And if I'd found you, if I'd known you were pregnant... He He stopped, his hands curling into fists. I would have protected you. Both of you. Protected us from what? I demanded. What are you, Min-jun? Who are these men? Why did someone try to kidnap my son? He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, I'm not a businessman. I lied to you that night. I run an organization. Korean Mafia. Based in Seoul, but we operate here in Seattle, Vancouver, San Francisco. And someone found out about Noah before I did. The world tilted sideways. Mafia. Korean Mafia. I'd slept with a gangster. I'd had a baby with a criminal. I'm going to be sick, I whispered. Mama. Noah touched my face. You okay? No. I wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. Min-jun leaned forward. Maya, listen to me. 2 weeks ago, someone hacked your preschool's database. They found Noah's records. They saw my name. Today's kidnapping attempt wasn't random. It was a test. A test for what? To see if you were real. If Noah was real. To see if I'd respond. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it and cursed in Korean. They know I'm here now, which means we need to leave. Right now. I'm not going anywhere with you. I don't even know you. You knew me well enough 3 years ago, he shot back, then immediately looked like he regretted it. That came out wrong. Maya, I know you're scared. I know you don't trust me. But those men who tried to take Noah? They work for people who want to hurt me. And the best way to hurt me is through him. Then leave, I said desperately. Just go back to Korea. Forget you saw us. We'll move, we'll change our names, Glass exploded. The back window shattered into 1,000 pieces. I screamed and curled around Noah as Min-jun threw himself over both of us. More glass breaking. Shouting in Korean. Gunshots. Oh God, those were gunshots. Stay down, Min-jun yelled. The car door was ripped open. One of Min-jun's men reached in and dragged us out. I held Noah so tight he whimpered. We were shoved behind the SUV as bullets pinged off the metal. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. I was a nurse from Dallas, Texas. I worked overtime and paid taxes and watched reality TV. I didn't get shot at in preschool parking lots. But Noah was crying, and there was blood on my scrubs. Not mine. One of the suited men was down. And Min-jun was pulling a gun from inside his jacket like it was the most natural thing in the world. Can you drive? He shouted at me over the noise. What? Can you drive? Yes, but. He shoved keys into my hand. Get in the driver's seat. When I say go, you drive. Don't stop for anything. I can't just. Noah needs you alive. His eyes bore into mine. So you're going to drive, Maya. You're going to save our son. Understand? Our son. He'd said our son. I nodded, my whole body shaking. Everything happened fast after that. Min-jun and his men returned fire. Someone screamed. Min-jun grabbed my arm and Noah and literally threw us into the driver's seat of the SUV. He dove into the passenger seat, still shooting out the window. Drive, he roared. I drove. I slammed my foot on the gas and the SUV shot forward. I'd never driven anything this big. It handled like a tank. I sideswiped a Honda in the parking lot and didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Because when I checked the rearview mirror, 2 cars were chasing us. They're following us. I screamed. I know. Take the highway. Go north. North where? Just drive. Noah was crying in the back seat. I'd buckled him in so fast I wasn't sure I'd done it right. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the steering wheel. A bullet hit the side mirror. It exploded in a shower of glass and plastic. I screamed again. Min-jun leaned out the window and fired back. The pursuing car swerved but didn't stop. Maya, listen to me, Min-jun said, his voice somehow calm. In 2 miles, there's an exit. Take it. Then immediate right into the industrial district. How do you know? I know Seattle better than I know my own name. Trust me. I didn't trust him. But I didn't have a choice. I took the exit doing 70. The SUV tilted dangerously. Noah screamed. I screamed. Somehow we didn't flip. The industrial district was all warehouses and empty lots. No people. No witnesses. There. Min-jun pointed. That warehouse. Drive inside. The door's closed. Drive through it. Are you insane? Do it. I did it. The SUV smashed through the old wooden door like it was paper. We crashed into the darkness of the warehouse, metal screeching, my head smacking the steering wheel despite the seatbelt. Everything went quiet except for Noah's crying and my ragged breathing. Are you hurt? Min-jun asked immediately, his hands on my face, checking me over. I'm fine. Noah. Chapter 3. You're bleeding, I said, my voice coming out weird and high-pitched. Min-jun glanced down at his shirt like he'd forgotten about it. It's nothing. Just a graze. Let me see. I was already moving toward him, nurse mode kicking in despite everything. Despite the crashed SUV and the bullet holes and the fact that this man was a literal criminal. Maya, we don't have time. I said let me see. Something in my tone made him stop arguing. Maybe it was the Texas stubborn coming through. My mama always said we Rivera women were born with iron spines and brass mouths. He unbuttoned his shirt. I tried not to notice the muscles, the tattoos that covered his ribs, Korean characters, and a tiger that looked like it was mid-roar. Tried not to remember tracing those tattoos with my fingers 3 years ago. Focus, Maya. The wound was on his left side, just above his hip. But as I looked closer, my stomach dropped. This isn't from today, I said slowly. No. Min-jun, this is infected. Badly. I pressed gently around the edges. He hissed in pain. How long have you had this? 2 weeks. Maybe 3. Maybe. I stared at him. You don't remember when you got shot? I didn't get shot. He was looking at Noah instead of me. Our son had finally stopped crying and was just hiccuping now, his face buried in my shoulder. It started as a rash. Then it opened up. It won't heal. My hands froze on his skin. That wasn't normal. Gunshot wounds didn't start as rashes. But poisoning did. Min-jun. I made him look at me. Have you been sick? Tired? Coughing? Everyone gets tired. That's not an answer. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I've been coughing blood for a week. Can't keep food down most days. My second-in-command thinks I have the flu. Your second-in-command is an idiot. I grabbed his face, checked his eyes. The whites were slightly yellow. Jaundice. You've been poisoned. The words hung in the air like smoke. That's not possible, Min-jun said, but his voice had no conviction in it. I'm a nurse. I've seen this before. Slow-acting poison, probably something in your food or drink. It mimics other illnesses at first, then gets worse. If I'm right, you've got maybe 2 weeks before your liver completely shuts down. His face didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Fear, maybe. Or acceptance. Who would poison you? I asked. Anyone. Everyone. He laughed, but it sounded broken. I have more enemies than friends, Maya. Comes with the job. Mama. Noah's small voice interrupted. Why is everyone sad? I kissed the top of his head. We're not sad, baby. Just tired. Is that man really my daddy? Min-jun went very still. I saw his throat move as he swallowed. Yes, I said softly. He really is. Noah wiggled out of my arms and walked over to Min-jun. He was so small compared to this large, dangerous man covered in tattoos and blood. But he wasn't scared. He just stared up at Min-jun with those serious dark eyes, the ones he got from his father. Hi, Noah said. Min-jun's face did something I didn't have words for. He dropped to his knees so he was eye level with our son. Hi, he said back. His voice cracked. Do you know my name? No. Min-jun reached out slowly, like Noah was made of glass, and touched his hair. Your name is Noah. Mama says you live far away. In Korea. I do. But I'm here now. Are you going to leave again? The question hit like a bullet. I saw it on Min-jun's face, the guilt, the pain, the regret. No, he said firmly. I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay and keep you safe. You and your mama. I promise. Okay. Noah smiled, showing that gap where his front tooth used to be. Then he did something that made my heart stop. He hugged Min-jun. Just wrapped his little arms around this deadly mafia boss's neck and squeezed. Min-jun froze. Then slowly, carefully, he hugged Noah back. His eyes closed and his whole body shook like he was trying not to fall apart. When Noah pulled away, he said, Mama says you're sick. She can fix you. She fixes everybody. I hope so, Min-jun whispered. The moment broke when his phone rang again. He answered in Korean, his voice sharp and hard again. The softness disappeared like it was never there. He hung up and stood. We need to move. Jae-sung's men are sweeping the area. Where are we supposed to go? I demanded. I can't take Noah on the run. He needs stability, routine, his stuffed elephant. He needs to be alive. Min-jun cut me off. Everything else is secondary. He was right. I hated that he was right. Fine. But I need supplies. Medical supplies. If you're really poisoned, we need to slow it down until we can find an antidote. There's a safe house 2 hours north. In the mountains. It's stocked with everything. Everything including antivenom and chelating agents. He blinked. I don't know what those words mean. Then it's not stocked with everything. I stood up, brushing warehouse dust off my scrubs. We need to make a stop. Absolutely not. Too dangerous. You're dying, I said bluntly. Noah was distracted, playing with a piece of broken mirror, so I could be honest. In 2 weeks, maybe less, your organs will shut down. You'll bleed internally. You'll drown in your own fluids. Is that how you want Noah to remember meeting his father? Min-jun's jaw worked. What do you need? There's a medical supply warehouse near the port. I know the owner. He's a friend from nursing school. He'll help us. And if he calls the police? He won't. He owes me. I didn't elaborate. Some things Min-jun didn't need to know about my past. We argued for another minute, but I won. Maybe because he was too sick to fight properly. Maybe because he knew I was right. We left the SUV, it was too damaged to drive, and walked 6 blocks to a parking garage where apparently Min-jun had backup cars stashed. Of course he did. This one was a normal-looking Honda. More Noah's car seat from the destroyed SUV, and we were moving again. I drove. Min-jun sat in the passenger seat, getting paler by the minute. Noah sang nursery rhymes in the back, oblivious to how wrong everything was. The medical warehouse was on the south side, near the docks. It was after 6, so the loading bays were closed, but I knew the side entrance code. Stay in the car, I told Min-jun. You look like death, and that won't help my case. I'm not letting you go in alone. Then send one of your scary bodyguards. Oh wait, they're all dead or scattered. I regretted the words immediately. I'm sorry. That was cruel. It was honest. He looked at me with those dark, unreadable eyes. You have 5 minutes. Then I'm coming in. I took Noah with me. No way was I leaving him alone with a poison mafia boss who could pass out any second. The warehouse was dark except for emergency lights. My footsteps echoed on the concrete floor. Rows and rows of medical supplies stretched out like a maze. Tommy. I called out. It's Maya Rivera. I need help. No answer. Tommy, I know you're here. Your truck's outside. Still nothing. Wrong. This felt wrong. I turned to leave, to get back to the car, but someone stepped out from behind a shelf. Not Tommy. A man I'd never seen before. Asian young, expensive suit. He smiled, and it was the kind of smile that made my blood freeze. Maya Rivera, he said in perfect English with just a hint of a Korean accent. We've been waiting for you. He pulled out a gun. I shoved Noah behind me and raised my hands. Jae-sung sends his regards, the man said. He wanted me to tell you something before I kill you. What? My voice shook. Your son isn't the target. You are. He tilted his head. My brother Min-jun has been poisoned, yes. But the antidote? It's in your blood, Maya. Your specific blood type, your specific antibodies. You're the cure. And once you're dead, he dies too. The world stopped making sense. That's impossible, I whispered. Is it? 3 years ago in Vancouver, you had food poisoning. Remember? You were sick for days after your night with Min-jun. I did remember. I'd been violently ill, thought it was bad hotel food. That wasn't food poisoning, the man continued. That was the first test. To see if you'd survive exposure to the poison. You did. Your body created antibodies. Rare antibodies. And now, he raised the gun higher. Now you have to die. Behind him, a shadow moved. Min-jun appeared like a ghost, his own gun pressed to the man's head. Drop it, Min-jun said quietly. Or I paint the walls with your brain. The man dropped his gun. Min-jun hit him once hard. He crumpled. Then Min-jun looked at me, and I saw real fear in his eyes. We need to run, he said. Right now. Chapter 4. We ran. Min-jun grabbed medical supplies off the shelves as we went. Syringes for bags, antibiotics, anything I pointed at. Noah clung to my neck, whimpering but not crying. My brave boy. The Honda was still running where we'd left it. Min-jun threw the supplies in the trunk, and we peeled out of the parking lot. I drove again because Min-jun's hands were shaking now. From the poison or the adrenaline, I couldn't tell. Explain, I said once we hit the highway. Explain how my blood is suddenly the cure to your poisoning. I don't know. He leaned his head back against the seat, eyes closed. 3 years ago, I thought someone tried to poison me at that art auction in Vancouver. I was sick for weeks after. But I survived. My people investigated but found nothing. And you think they poisoned me too? To test if I'd survive. Maybe. Or maybe. He opened his eyes and looked at me. Maybe someone's been planning this for 3 years. Waiting for the right moment. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. That's insane. Who plans something for 3 years? My brother. Min-jun's voice was flat. Jae-sung is patient, methodical. If he wanted my position, he'd need to remove me in a way that couldn't be traced back to him. Slow poison. Make it look like illness. And if the cure was a random American woman no one could find. He laughed bitterly. Perfect plan. Except he found me. Because you put my name on Noah's school forms. He looked at me. I'm not angry about that. For the record. Could have fooled me earlier. Earlier I was in shock. Now I'm. He trailed off, coughing. When he pulled his hand away from his mouth, there was blood on his palm. We need that safe house, I said urgently. Now. 2 more hours. You don't have 2 hours. Then I'll make them. His voice was steel. I've survived worse. Noah piped up from the back seat. Is Daddy sick like when I had the flu? Something like that, baby, I said, my throat tight. Mama made me soup. Does Daddy need soup? Min-jun's face softened. Soup sounds good. I make really good soup, Noah said seriously. Mama says I'm the best helper. I believe it. We drove in silence after that. The city gave way to suburbs, then forest. The road wound higher into the mountains. My ears popped. Min-jun's phone rang constantly. He ignored most calls, answered a few in rapid Korean. Once he said something that made him grip the phone so hard I thought it would shatter. What? I asked when he hung up. That was Seo Ji-hoon, my second in command. His jaw was tight. He says he found information about the poison. And the antidote. That's good, right? It's in Hong Kong. The only sample of the antidote in existence is held by the Jade Serpent Syndicate. The way he said it made my stomach drop. Why do you sound like that's a death sentence? Because the Jade Serpent Syndicate is run by Park Yuna. He stared out the window. My ex-fiancé. Of course. Of course there was an ex-fiancé. Were you too serious? I asked, trying to sound casual and failing completely. We were engaged for 2 years. Political arrangement between families. She called it off 6 months after Vancouver. He glanced at me. She said I'd changed. That my heart wasn't in it anymore. Had you changed? Yes. His voice was quiet. I couldn't stop thinking about a woman I'd spent one night with. A woman who made me laugh. Who didn't know I was a criminal and liked me anyway. Who looked at me like I was just a person. My breath caught. Min-jun. I know. 3 years too late for confessions. He coughed again, more blood. But if I'm dying, I want you to know. That night changed everything for me. You're not dying, I said fiercely. We're going to Hong Kong, we're getting that antidote, and you're going to live long enough for me to yell at you properly about everything. He smiled despite the pain. I look forward to it. The safe house appeared an hour later. A cabin that looked small from outside, but was massive inside. Wood and glass and technology everywhere. Definitely a Mafia safe house. I got Noah settled on the couch with blankets and his tablet. Thank God I'd grabbed his backpack from the preschool before everything went crazy. Min-jun made a phone call to arrange a private flight to Hong Kong. We leave in 4 hours, he said. There's a small airport 30 minutes from here. I need to examine you properly first. I pointed to the bedroom. Shirt off. Lie down. Bossy. I'm a nurse. It's literally my job. In the bedroom, I did a full examination. The wound on his side was worse, pustules forming, skin hot to the touch. His temperature was 101.5. His pulse was thready. His blood pressure was low. I started in 4 with the supplies we'd stolen, pumped him full of fluids and broad-spectrum antibiotics. It wouldn't cure the poison, but it might buy us time. Your bedside manner needs work, he muttered as I inserted the 4 needle. My bedside manner is perfect. You're just a difficult patient. I taped down the 4 line. When we get to Hong Kong, let me do the talking. Absolutely not. Min-jun, if this Yuna woman is your ex, she's going to have feelings about seeing you. Probably bad feelings. Maybe I can negotiate woman to woman. You don't know Yuna. She's not like you. What's that supposed to mean? He caught my wrist gently. It means you're warm. Kind. You lead with your heart. Yuna leads with strategy. Everything is a calculation. Everything has a price. Then we'll pay it. The price might be too high. There's no price too high for Noah's father, I said. Then I realized what I'd said and tried to backtrack. I mean, for Noah's sake. He just met you. He deserves to know you. That's all I meant. Maya. The way he said my name made my skin tingle. When this is over, when I'm not dying and people aren't trying to kill us, can we talk? Really talk. About what? About everything. About that night. About Noah. About why I looked for you. About why you kept my son a secret. He pulled me closer. About whether there's any chance you could forgive me for not being there. My eyes burned. I don't know. Maybe. Ask me when you're not poisoned. Fair enough. The flight to Hong Kong was surreal. Private jet, leather seats. A flight attendant who didn't ask questions when Min-jun coughed blood into a napkin. Noah slept the whole way, curled up on my lap. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. I kept thinking about what that man at the warehouse said. My blood was the cure. Which meant they'd been watching me for 3 years. Planning this. Using me as a weapon against Min-jun. Had our night in Vancouver been an accident? Or had I been targeted even then? The thought made me sick. We landed in Hong Kong at dawn. The city was already awake. Millions of people, neon signs, the smell of street food and ocean air. So different from Seattle. A car was waiting. More men in suits, but these ones were different colors. Dark green instead of black. Yuna's men, Min-jun explained. She knows we're here. How? Because she knows everything. It's why she's still alive in this business. We drove through the city to a high-rise building made entirely of glass and steel. Top 10 floors belonged to the Jade Serpent Syndicate, according to Min-jun. Legal businesses as a front, a legal empire behind closed doors. Security checked us at 3 different points. They confiscated Min-jun's gun. They scanned Noah's tablet, my purse, everything. The elevator ride to the penthouse felt like going to the gallows. The doors opened to a room that was more art gallery than office. Expensive paintings, sculptures, floor-to-ceiling windows showing all of Hong Kong spread out below us. And standing by the window, looking like she'd stepped out of a fashion magazine, was Park Yuna. She was beautiful. Stunning, really. Tall, perfect black hair, designer suit that probably cost more than my car. She turned when we entered, and her eyes went straight to Min-jun. Min-jun Appa, she said softly. The Korean honorific sounded intimate. You look terrible. Hello, Yuna. Her gaze slid to me, then to Noah. Her expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. So, the rumors are true. You have a son. She walked closer, heels clicking on marble floors. With her. The way she said her made me want to punch her. But I held Noah's hand and stayed quiet. Yuna circled us like a predator. Maya Rivera, 27 years old. Nurse at Seattle General. From Texas originally. No family except a sister in Dallas. You kept Min-jun's child a secret for 3 years. She stopped in front of me. Why? Because I couldn't find him, I said evenly. I tried. Did you? Or did you want to keep the child to yourself? I wanted Noah to have a father. But his father disappeared. And now he's dying. Yuna turned back to Min-jun. You need the antidote. I have it. So let's discuss price. Name it, Min-jun said. Yuna smiled. It was the coldest smile I'd ever seen. You. I want you. Chapter 5. The room went silent except for the sound of my heart trying to break through my ribs. Excuse me, I said. Yuna didn't even look at me. Her eyes stayed locked on Min-jun. You heard me. I want you back. Marry me. Come back to where you belong. Lead the syndicates together like we always planned. Yuna, Min-jun started. I'm not finished. She held up one perfectly manicured hand. You marry me. You dissolve whatever ridiculous attachment you have to this woman and her child. You give up all parental rights to the boy. And in exchange, I give you the antidote. You live. No, Min-jun said immediately. Then you die. Yuna shrugged like we were discussing the weather. Simple choice, really. There's nothing simple about it. Isn't there? Yuna finally looked at me. She's nobody, Min-jun. A nurse from Texas who happened to be in the right hotel at the right time. You can replace her in a week. Something in me snapped. I'd been shot at today. Chased. Told my blood was some kind of cure. I'd watched my son meet his father for the first time in a preschool parking lot. I was exhausted and terrified and so far past my breaking point that I couldn't even see it in the rearview mirror. So when Yuna called me nobody, I lost it. You want him? I stepped forward, putting myself between Yuna and Min-jun. Then you can have him. But here's the thing about Min-jun that you clearly never figured out. He's not a possession. He's not a chess piece. He's a person. And if you ever actually loved him, you'd give him the antidote just because he's dying. Not because you want something in return. Yuna's eyes went cold. You dare. I dare. My Texas accent came out thick. I dare because I have nothing to lose. You've already made it clear you're gonna let him die unless you get what you want. So yeah, I dare. What are you gonna do? Kill me? Go ahead. But my blood is apparently the backup cure, so good luck with that. For 3 seconds, Yuna just stared at me. Then she moved. Fast. So fast I didn't see her hand coming until it connected with my face. The slap echoed through the room. My head snapped to the side, pain exploding across my cheek. Mama! Noah screamed. I tasted blood. But I didn't back down. I looked Yuna straight in her cold, perfect face and smiled with bloody teeth. That all you got? Yuna hit me again. This time with a closed fist. I went down hard, my vision exploding into stars. Somewhere far away, Min-jun was shouting. Noah was crying. But all I could focus on was getting back up. I'd been in fights before. Texas girls didn't grow up soft. My sister and I used to wrestle in the backyard until Mama separated us. I knew how to take a hit. I also knew how to give one back. I lunged at Yuna. We hit the ground together, rolling across that expensive marble floor. She was stronger than she looked, all lean muscle and sharp edges. But I was desperate. And desperate made you mean. I got one good punch in before her guards pulled me off. 2 massive men held my arms while Yuna stood up, smoothing her hair back into place. There was a cut on her lip. I'd done that. Good. You stupid little. Yuna started toward me again. Enough. Min-jun's voice cut through the chaos. He was standing now, one hand pressed to his bleeding side, the other holding Noah. Our son's face was buried in his father's neck, his small body shaking with sobs. Enough, Yuna. This is between you and me. Leave her out of it. She made herself part of it when she attacked me. You hit her first. She insulted me. She told you the truth. Min-jun's voice was quiet, but harder than steel. You want to talk about price? Here's mine. Give me the antidote. I'll owe you a favor. Any favor, any time, no questions asked. But Maya and Noah walk away free. Yuna laughed. One favor? For your life? That's not nearly enough. Then let me die. The room went still. What? Yuna's smile faded. You heard me. Let me die. I'm not trading my son for a few more years of life. I'm not leaving Maya to raise him alone again. Min-jun looked at me, and his eyes were so full of regret and love and goodbye that I couldn't breathe. I got 3 hours with Noah. That's more than I deserved. It's enough. No, I choked out. Min-jun, no. Take care of him, he said to me. Tell him I loved him. Tell him I loved you too. Tell him. The windows exploded. Not glass breaking explosions. Real ones. The whole building shook. Alarms started screaming. Yuna's guards ran to the windows, shouting in Chinese. Yuna grabbed a phone. Spoke rapidly. Hung up and looked at Min-jun with something like fear in her eyes. It's Jae-sung, she said. He's here. In Hong Kong. He's attacking the building. How many men? Min-jun demanded. 20. Maybe more. She turned to her guards. Lockdown protocol. Now. But it was too late. The elevator doors opened. Men in black tactical gear poured out, guns already firing. Yuna's guards fired back. The penthouse turned into a war zone in seconds. Min-jun grabbed Noah and me and pulled us behind a marble desk. Bullets chipped the stone above our heads. Noah was screaming. I was screaming. Everything was noise and smoke and terror. The emergency stairs, Min-jun shouted over the gunfire. East wall. Go. What about you? I'll cover you. Run, Maya. Run and don't look back. I'm not leaving you. He kissed me. Hard and fast and desperate. I love you. I've loved you since Vancouver. Now go save our son. He pushed me toward the stairs before I could argue. I ran, half carrying Noah, my lungs burning. Behind us, the gunfire got louder. The emergency stairs were concrete and cold, and went down forever. My legs were shaking so bad I could barely walk. Noah had stopped crying, gone quiet in that scary way kids do when they're too overwhelmed to process anything. We made it down 3 floors before the door above us burst open. Footsteps. Running. Coming toward us. I looked around frantically. Nowhere to hide. Nowhere to go but down, and they were faster than me. I was going to die in a stairwell in Hong Kong, and Noah was going to watch it happen. The footsteps got closer. I put Noah down and stood in front of him. If someone was going to shoot my baby, they'd have to go through me first. The figure came around the corner. It wasn't Jae-sung's men. It was Seo Ji-hoon, Min-jun's second in command. The man I'd never met, but had heard about on the phone calls. He stopped when he saw me, raised his gun, and smiled. Hello, Maya, he said in perfect English. I've been waiting to meet you. Something was wrong. The way he stood. The way he smiled. The way he didn't lower the gun. You're not here to save us, I said slowly. No, I'm not. He tilted his head. Did you really think Jae-sung was smart enough to plan all this? The poison, the timing, finding you? Please. Jae-sung is an idiot with ambition. I'm the one who's been orchestrating everything. My blood turned to ice. Why? Because Min-jun was supposed to die 3 years ago. In Vancouver. I poisoned him then. But he survived. And then you survived. And I realized you were the variable I didn't account for. He stepped closer. Your blood created antibodies. Rare ones. So I waited. I watched. I let Min-jun suffer, wondering why he couldn't forget some random American woman. And when the time was right, I made sure you two would be forced back together. The kidnapping attempt at the preschool, I whispered. That was you. That was me. I put Min-jun's name on Noah's school records. I hired the kidnapper. I made sure the school would call him. Ji-hoon's smile widened. I needed him weak. Desperate. Emotional. And it worked perfectly. But why? What do you get from this? Everything. With Min-jun dead and Jae-sung blamed for it, the Biko clan falls apart. The Jade Serpent Syndicate moves in. Yuna and I have been planning this partnership for 2 years. She gets territory. I get power. We both get rich. Yuna knows. I felt sick. Who do you think convinced me to use you as bait? He raised the gun higher, aiming at my head. Now, I need you to come with me quietly. Your blood is valuable. I'll keep you alive long enough to harvest what I need. Then you die. Noah dies. Min-jun dies. And I win. No, said a voice from behind him. Ji-hoon spun around. Min-jun stood at the landing above us. Blood soaked his entire shirt. He could barely stand. But he had a gun aimed straight at Ji-hoon's head. You betrayed me, Min-jun said. His voice was hollow. I did, Ji-hoon agreed. And I'd do it again. You were weak, Min-jun. You put that woman above the organization. You deserve. Min-jun shot him. Just once. Clean. Center mass. Ji-hoon looked down at the blood spreading across his chest, surprised. Then he fell backward down the stairs, tumbling like a rag doll until he hit the bottom and went still. Min-jun collapsed. I ran to him, Noah following. He was barely conscious, his skin gray, blood everywhere. The antidote, he mumbled. Did you get it? No. But we're getting out of here. All of us. I looked up the stairs. We need to go back. Find Yuna. Already here. Yuna appeared at the top of the landing. Her perfect suit was torn, blood on her face. She looked down at Ji-hoon's body, and her expression was unreadable. Then she pulled out a vial from her jacket pocket. Small. Glass. Filled with clear liquid. The antidote, she said. She walked down the stairs and knelt beside Min-jun. Ji-hoon was my partner. He's dead now. The deal is off. Then why give us the antidote? I asked. Yuna looked at me. Really looked at me. Because you were willing to die for him. And he was willing to die for you. She pressed the vial into my hand. That's not love you find twice in this life. Don't waste it. She stood and walked away without another word. I didn't question it. I just uncapped the vial and helped Min-jun drink it. Please work, I whispered. Please, please work. Chapter 6 Jun's eyes rolled back in his head. No, no, no. I checked his pulse, weak and erratic. His breathing was shallow. The antidote was supposed to work immediately. That's what Yuna said. So why was he getting worse? Daddy. Noah's voice was tiny and scared. Daddy, wake up. I tilted Min-jun's head back, checking his airway. Clear. But his lips were turning blue. His body started seizing. Oh God. The antidote wasn't working. It was killing him faster. I did the only thing I could think of. The thing that man at the warehouse said would work. My blood. I grabbed a syringe from my bag. I'd taken a few from the medical warehouse just in case. My hands shook as I tied off my own arm with Noah's jacket sleeve, found a vein, and drew blood. 20 milliliters. Enough to maybe make a difference. Noah, baby, don't watch this, okay? Look at the wall. But Mama. Look at the wall. He turned away, crying quietly. I found a vein on Min-jun's arm and pushed the needle in. Pushed my blood into his body. It was risky as hell. I didn't know his blood type, didn't have time to test for compatibility. This could kill him just as fast as the poison. But doing nothing would definitely kill him. I pushed the plunger down. Watched my blood disappear into his veins. Come on, I whispered. Come on, Min-jun. Don't you dare die on me. You promised Noah you wouldn't leave. You promised. For 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then Min-jun gasped. A huge, wheezing breath like he'd been drowning and just broke the surface. His eyes flew open, wild and unfocused. Maya! His voice was rough. I'm here. I'm right here. I checked his pulse again. Stronger. His color was coming back. What? What did you do? Blood transfusion. My blood. The guy at the warehouse was right. I have antibodies. I don't know how or why, but it's working. I laughed, and it came out half sob. It's actually working. Min-jun tried to sit up. Failed. Tried again. This time I helped him lean against the wall. Noah immediately climbed into his lap, wrapping his arms around his father's neck. You scared me, Noah said, his voice muffled against Min-jun's shoulder. I scared myself. Min-jun held our son close, his eyes meeting mine over Noah's head. You saved my life. You saved ours first. We're even. We're not even close to even. He reached out with his free hand and pulled me close. The three of us sat there in that cold stairwell, blood-covered and traumatized and alive. The moment broke when the stairwell door above us burst open. Yuna's guards poured through, weapons drawn. Don't shoot, I screamed, throwing myself over Noah and Min-jun. Stand down. Yuna's voice echoed from somewhere above. They're under my protection. The guards lowered their weapons but didn't leave. Yuna appeared a moment later, looking like she'd been through a war. Which I guess she had. Jae-sung's men are dead or captured, she said. Your brother is in custody. My people are questioning him. I didn't want to know what questioning meant in Mafia terms. What about the building? Min-jun asked. Damaged but standing. Like us. Yuna looked at me. Your blood worked. Yeah. How did you know it would? I didn't. But Ji-hoon was obsessed with you. Kept files. Research. He believed your antibodies were the real cure, not my antidote. She smiled grimly. Looks like the bastard was right about something. So the antidote you gave us was fake? I asked. No. It was real. But incomplete. It would have slowed the poison, not stopped it. Your blood did what my antidote couldn't. Yuna crouched down to our level. Which means you're valuable, Maya Rivera. Very valuable. Every enemy Min-jun has will want you. Every syndicate that deals in bioweapons will hunt you. Your life just got exponentially more dangerous. Great, I muttered. Just what I needed. Min-jun's hand tightened on mine. I'll protect her. Both of them. You can barely stand, Yuna pointed out. But I believe you'll try. She stood. My doctor is upstairs. He'll make sure the antidote and blood transfusion don't have adverse effects. Then you're leaving Hong Kong. Tonight. Understood. Understood, Min-jun said. Yuna started to walk away, then paused. Min-jun, for what it's worth, I'm glad you found her. Someone who'd fight for you like that. She glanced at me. Don't waste it. I won't. After she left, Min-jun looked at me. Really looked at me. We need to talk about Vancouver. About what really happened that night. Now. You just almost died. Especially now. Because I need you to understand. He took a shaky breath. That night wasn't random, Maya. I was at that auction because I was meeting with art smugglers. Business. But then I saw you standing by the bar, looking at the paintings like they were magic, and I forgot why I was there. I forgot everything except wanting to know you. Min-jun, let me finish. Please. His eyes were intense. I told myself it was just one night. That I'd go back to my life and forget about the beautiful American who made me laugh. But I couldn't. I looked for you for months. And when I couldn't find you, I convinced myself it was better that way. That you deserved someone normal. Someone safe. I didn't want safe, I said quietly. I wanted you. I know that now. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you were pregnant. I'm sorry Noah grew up without a father. I'm sorry you had to do everything alone. His voice cracked. But I'm here now. And I'm not going anywhere. Unless you want me to. Do I want you to go? I let out a breath. Min-jun, you're a criminal. You run a mafia organization. People tried to kill us today. Multiple times. This life you live, it's insane and dangerous and everything I swore I'd never let Noah near. His face fell. I understand. But, I continued. You're also the man who learned how to say I love you in Korean just to teach Noah. You're the man who threw himself over us when bullets started flying. You're the man who was willing to die rather than give up his son. I touched his face. You're Noah's father. And I think I never stopped loving you either. Min-jun's eyes widened. You love me? I'm pretty sure I fell in love with you that night in Vancouver. And every time I looked at Noah and saw your face, I fell a little more. I laughed wetly. So yeah, I love you. Even though you're a criminal and my life is probably going to be a mess from now on. He kissed me. Soft and gentle and full of 3 years of longing. Noah made a disgusted sound. You kissing. We pulled apart, laughing. Get used to it, kid, Min-jun said, ruffling Noah's hair. Yuna's doctor checked us over an hour later. Min-jun was stable but needed rest and observation. My blood work showed the antibodies clearly. Apparently I was a medical miracle. The doctor wanted to study me. I politely declined. We flew back to Seattle that night on another private jet. This one had beds, and Noah fell asleep immediately, exhausted from the worst day of his young life. Min-jun and I sat together in the main cabin, his head on my shoulder, my hand in his. What happens now? I asked. Your brother tried to kill us. Your second-in-command betrayed you. Your organization probably thinks you're weak. Let them think it, Min-jun said. I'm done with that life. I'm done with the Biko clan. I sat up straight. What? I mean it. I'm walking away. I'll testify, cooperate with the FBI, dismantle everything from the inside. He looked at me. I want a normal life. With you and Noah. No more guns, no more running. Just a family. The FBI won't just let you walk away. You've done things. I know what I've done, and I'll pay for it. Whatever that means. His jaw was set. But I won't let Noah grow up in this world. I won't let you live in fear. So I'm out. Just like that. Just like that. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him so badly. But before I could respond, his phone rang. He answered, his face going pale as he listened. When? He asked sharply. How many? A pause. I understand. He hung up and looked at me, and I saw fear in his eyes again. What? My heart started racing. What is it? That was Yuna. Jae-sung escaped custody 20 minutes ago. He killed 3 of her guards and disappeared. He's coming for us, I whispered. Yes. And this time, he's not going to stop until we're all dead. Chapter 7. The plane landed in Seattle at 3 in the morning. Rain hammered against the windows. Min-jun had barely spoken since Yuna's call about Jae-sung's escape. He just held my hand tight, his jaw clenched. Noah slept through everything, exhausted from the worst day of his life. We're not going to your apartment, Min-jun said as we got off the plane. I have a safe house on Bainbridge Island. For how long? Until Jae-sung is dead or captured. His voice was flat. Those are the only options. We drove to the ferry in silence. Noah woke up halfway through the crossing, confused. Where are we going? He asked. Somewhere safe, I said, forcing a smile. Is the bad man coming? My heart broke. Daddy won't let him find us. Noah looked at Min-jun. Promise? Min-jun knelt down. I promise. No one will hurt you or your mama. Not while I'm breathing. Noah hugged him. I like having a daddy. I like being your daddy, Min-jun whispered. The safe house was a fortress, high walls, cameras, guards everywhere. Inside it was surprisingly normal, with toys in the corner like Min-jun had been preparing for us. You planned this, I said. I hoped we wouldn't need it. He showed me around. If something happens to me, there's a panic room in the basement. A tunnel to the beach. A boat. You take Noah and run. Nothing's happening to you. Maya. No. I grabbed his shirt. You don't get to plan your own death. We survived Hong Kong. We'll survive your brother too. You don't understand what Jae-sung is. Then help me understand. Min-jun was quiet. Then he said, when I was 15, my father tried to leave the organization. Jae-sung was 12. He told our uncle about the plan. Our uncle killed our father and made Jae-sung watch. And Jae-sung smiled. Thanked him for the lesson. I felt sick. So what do we do? Set a trap. Use me as bait. End this tonight. Absolutely not. It's the only way. Jae-sung wants me. I'll give him the chance. On my terms. His eyes went hard. And I'll finish it. Then I'm coming with you. No. Yes. Noah stays here with the guards. You and I do this together. We argued, but I won. Texas stubborn always wins. The plan was simple. Min-jun would leak his location to Jae-sung's informants. Make himself look vulnerable. When Jae-sung showed up, we'd be ready. The location was an abandoned warehouse near Pike Place. Good for ambushes. Bad for escapes. If things go wrong, Min-jun said as we drove there, you run back to Noah. Things won't go wrong. But if they do, Min-jun. I squeezed his hand. We face this together. Deal. He kissed me hard. Deal. We arrived at 4 a.m. The warehouse was dark and massive. Min-jun's phone buzzed. I'm here, brother. Let's finish this. He's inside, Min-jun said, checking his gun. Stay behind me. Stay low. We entered through a side door. The place smelled like rotting fish and salt water. Min-jun. Jae-sung's voice echoed. I know you brought the woman. It's over, Jae-sung, Min-jun called. The FBI is coming. Yuna's testimony will bury you. Will it? Jae-sung stepped into view. He looked like Min-jun but with dead eyes. Yuna is dead. I killed her 3 hours ago. The words hit like a bullet. You're lying, I said. He showed us a photo on his phone. Yuna's body. Blood everywhere. My stomach turned. She'd saved us. And now she was dead. She died begging me to spare you, Jae-sung said. Pathetic. More men appeared from the shadows. 6 of them. All armed. Maya, Min-jun said quietly. Run. Not happening. For once, listen. No. I told you. Together. Min-jun looked at me like I was his whole world. I love you, Maya Rivera. I love you too. Jae-sung made a disgusted sound. Kill them. Gunshots erupted. Min-jun shoved me behind a pillar and fired back. Bullets ricocheted everywhere. I ducked, covered my head, prayed. This was it. This was how I died. Then the shooting stopped. Not because they ran out of bullets. Because of sirens. You called the cops? Jae-sung sounded shocked. I called the FBI, Min-jun said. Floodlights hit the warehouse. This is the FBI. Drop your weapons. FBI agents poured in from everywhere. Within minutes, Jae-sung was on the ground, zip-tied, screaming in Korean. An FBI agent approached us, a woman with kind eyes. Mr. Kang? Ms. Rivera? You're safe now. How? I couldn't breathe. Mr. Kang contacted us 2 days ago. Offered to testify against his organization in exchange for witness protection for his family. I stared at Min-jun. You set this up? I told you I was done with that life, he said softly. I meant it. They took our statements. Arrested Jae-sung on 14 charges. Took Min-jun into protective custody until trial. I got to see him once before they transported him. How long? I asked. 6 months of testimony. Maybe a year. Then witness protection. New names, new lives. He touched my face. I don't expect you to wait. I kissed him to shut him up. Noah and I will be here when you get out. Then we start over. Together. You're sure? I've never been more sure. 6 months later. The cottage on the Oregon coast was small but perfect. Far from everything dangerous. Far from our old lives. I heard the car and ran to the window. Min-jun, now Matthew Park, stepped out looking lighter than ever. Daddy! Noah ran past me and launched himself at his father. Min-jun caught him, spinning him around, both laughing. I walked onto the porch, hand on my pregnant belly. 7 months along with a girl we'd named Hope. Min-jun's eyes went to my stomach, then my face. You're beautiful. You're late. I brought donuts. Forgiven. We had breakfast. Laughed at Noah's terrible jokes. Made plans for the beach. Normal. Ordinary. Perfect. That night, after Noah was asleep, we sat on the porch watching the ocean. Any regrets? Min-jun asked. Not one. You. Only that I wasted 3 years. We have the rest of our lives now. I leaned into him. Yes, he said. We do. The past had tried to destroy us. His brother, the poison, the violence. But we'd survived. Because some things are worth fighting for. Worth dying for. Worth living for. Family. Love. Hope. And as I sat there with Min-jun's hand on my belly, feeling our daughter kick, watching Noah's toys scattered across our new living room, I knew we'd made it. Love had won. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. I post new stories every week. Don't miss out.